Has this ever happened to you? You read about options and you started to learn that, hey, you can buy an option and then you can sell an option. So there's the underwriter and the holder. And then you start to venture into calls and then puts, and then there is the buy calls, which is very similar to the sell puts, but it's very different because there is the underwriter and the holder. This just doesn't make sense like how I'm speaking right now. Don't worry, you are not alone. In fact, a lot of people have, and I myself included, for a period of time I was unsure what is the difference between all the different positions in options trading. And when you mix and match them together, you get very complex strategy, and it's just overwhelmingly confusing when you're actually trying to trade. So I ever made a trade wrongly, and then that cost me money because I thought I was going long, but actually I was going short. Meaning, if the market goes down, I earn, but actually I was the opposite way. Yeah, so you get my idea. So in this video, I wanted to make a very simple video to help you remember the different positions of a buy put, sell put, buy call, sell call, so that you know a very layman's method which helped me when I was starting in my options trading journey. So let's get started. Okay, so there's two roles you need to understand. The first is the underwriter. So options fundamentally is a contract, right? So the underwriter is someone who underwrites and honors the contract. And then on the other hand, you have the holder. So someone who buys the rights, who holds on to the rights and can execute the rights at any time. So the underwriter has to honor the rights, while the holder has the right, so he can execute the right anytime. So holder has a choice, underwriter no choice. Get it? Okay, so that's the first thing you need to understand. So underwriters are people who sell options. So when I sell you the rights, I sell you the rights. If I buy the rights, I'm the holder, I have the rights. Okay, so that's the first thing you need to understand, the buy and the sell. So now let's talk about puts and calls and the positions that it goes, because this is where it gets very confusing. So here's a very simple analogy that I use that really helped me understand and remember all the different positions like after this. Okay, so the options, or the way the calls and puts are named from the holder's point of view. They don't care about the underwriters, those are professionals. The holders are quote unquote people like you and me. Okay, so we buy the rights, right? So now once you understand that, then puts and calls becomes intuitive. When I put an option, right? So options in this case, we are looking at stock options. So underneath is stocks or 100 shares of a company. So when I buy a put option, essentially I buy the right to put the option on you. This means I have the right to force sell the option on you. Make sense? Let's do the reverse. Call. So call option, meaning as a holder, I can call the option from you, meaning I can forcefully buy the option from you at the stated strike price. Let's give an example. If I were to sell put at 750, what does it mean? So this means I sold my right to another person, so that holder now has the right to put his shares at me at 750. This means as a seller, underwriter, I am obligated to buy the shares from another person at 750. Conversely, as a put option holder, now I have the right to sell the share to someone at 750, if I want to sell it to them. So the time in which I would sell it to them is when it's profitable to do so, right? If it's not profitable, why exercise your rights at a loss? So no one will do that, and yeah, that's how it works. So now let's try to understand the call option perspective. So if you sell a call option, because this channel we do a lot of option selling, so that's why you really need to understand selling options. So if you sell options, what is going on? So I sold my rights. That's first. Call option means the holder gets to call the shares from me to him. So that means that if he calls the shares, I have no choice but to give up my shares to him. Make sense? So if he calls it at $10, that means that I have to give it up at $10. So if my current option is $13, I have no choice. I have to give it up at $10 because the contract says the call option allows the holder to call the option or the shares at $10 per share. So that's how the call option works. So now that you understand this fundamental like buy, sell, underwriter, holder, so let's take some time to do a couple of practice sessions so that you know and you can familiarize yourself with the process. So the easiest way to really familiarize yourself with the positions is to open a paper trading account and just practice selling and buying options, and trying to visualize where is the profit and loss direction. Once you can do that, everything will just snap in place. If it's difficult, let's just practice a couple of paper, a virtual test so that you understand where I'm coming from. Okay, let's start. Let's say you decided to buy an option, right? You buy an option from me. So I sold you a put option for $20. At what price would you profit? If the shares goes up 25, would you profit? If the share goes down to $15, would you profit? Answer, comment section below. If no one posted the answer, just comment and I will tell you if that answer is correct. Just be sure to quote the question and I will give you an answer. Now let's reverse the scenario. Now you bought a call option from me at $50, right? So I sold you the call option. Would you profit if the stock price went up to $55? Now, what happens if the stock goes down to say $45? What happens? How much do you lose? Okay, so if you can answer this too, you've nailed down, I think, the very, very basic of selling options versus buying options versus calls and put. Well done. Okay, so now let's make it a little bit more advanced, okay? So now this is where it gets tricky. We're going to combine two options together. Now, let's say if I sell an option, so you are the holder, I'm the seller. I sell you a put option at $10, but now I'm going to buy a put option at $7.50. Okay, I sell you a put option at 10, I buy a put option from someone else at $7.50. What is the maximum amount of money I can lose? What is the maximum amount of money I can profit? And yeah, how is the profit graph going to look like? Can you figure it out? If you write it down on a paper, I'm pretty sure with the fundamental knowledge you have no problem solving it. If not, refer to the answer key in the description below and, well, you get it. Now let's reverse the scenario. Let's try the call option. So let's say if I sell you a call option. So you're the holder, I'm the seller. I sell you a call option at $12.50, but I buy another call option at $15. What's the maximum loss? What's the max profit that I can get? Try to figure it out. So again, this can get very complicated when you flip it around, you swap different dates. So this video is meant to really help you understand the basics and to help you realize this can get kind of tricky. Basically, it takes a while to wrap your head around it, and the best way that I know of to really familiarize yourself with options or the different positions is really paper trading. I mean, actual trading, you might lose money because you are not familiar. Once you paper trade, you are familiar with the positions. Very quickly, everything will snap in place in about a month and a half or two if you trade like once every 2-3 days. With that said, I hope you like this video, and if you want to meet other option sellers in Singapore or all over the world, check out my Discord group in the description below, where I invite and talk about my trades, my positions, my P&L, news, and there's also lively discussion going on in the my Discord group chat. If not, alternatively, if you want to see how much I made in July, which is 1 month back, selling options for 1 entire month, it's 20+% return. Check out the video over here, or check out what YouTube recommends you over here, and subscribe to my channel for more, and I'll see you next time. Take care and stay safe.